Recently, I've been watching a lot of anime. You could say I love anime. Now for the longest time, I was a shonen junkie. A friend got me into Naruto back in the 3rd grade when the only way I had to read it was by buying these old shonen magazines you could get at the store for $5. I love Naruto and watched other stuff after it, but I never left shonen until recently. I branched out into rom-coms, comedies, slice of life. Man, I love slice of life. This season alone, I'm watching about 15 anime. Here are my rankings. They're not in order of which is better, but just where I rank them on a letter scale. The season is about to end, so I decided to see what's coming up next season, and there it was. Rent-A-Girlfriend Season 2. I'm not gonna lie, I was interested. I love waifus and fan service. Sure, I'll catch up, why not? So 12 episodes and over 100 chapters later, I can confidently say that I know why not. So let me tell you. Rent-A-Girlfriend is a story about a guy who gets dumped and decides to rent a girlfriend to help him feel better. But his family finds out, so he lies and says that the rent-a-girl is in fact his real girlfriend. Okay, that's an interesting premise. In fact, that could be a nice plot for a season. But no, this is the plot not just for a season, but for over 200 chapters. Now before I talk about episode 8, let's talk about the characters. And I'm going to talk about them in order of how much I like them from most to least. Number 1, Sumi. Sumi is such a sweetheart. Like seriously, she's just a shy girl who wants to improve and do her best. And she does that. She has character development, a rarity in this show. She goes from being absolutely shy to accepting her shyness and simply focusing on making her boyfriend at the time have a great time, even though she rarely talks. That's great. You understand your weakness, so you focus on other ways to have a good date. Only gripe I have is that she likes Kazuya, I guess. I'll get to him later, but Sumi deserves an actual good boyfriend, not this dude. Number 2, Minnie. Now personally, I consider Minnie more of a voice of the audience than an actual character. I like her and she's just a regular, streaming, cosplaying, gacha playing girl. But most of all, she says it like it is. She tells Kazuya there's something between him and Chizuru. She tells Chizuru that she loves Kazuya. She calls them out just like we do in the comments every chapter. So yeah, Minnie's cool. I don't really have a problem with her. Honestly, I'm just glad she doesn't like this dude. Okay, this one's gonna be controversial, but number 3 is Ruka. Wait, if you read the manga or watched the show, you might disagree. And that's cool, but you're wrong. Here's why. Ruka likes Kazuya because he can make her heart beat fast, which due to a condition of hers generally beats very slow, even when stimulated by roller coasters and stuff. So I can understand why. For the longest, I did not understand why Kazuya just didn't give her a chance. Here you have a girl that is actively trying to be your girlfriend, and she's pretty. Yeah, she can be clingy and stuff, but if you just communicate boundaries and levels of affection, that's fixed. I can't blame her for trying because up to this point, no one has made her heart beat faster. Now, I can't understand why people don't like her. A reason that always comes up is the blackmail, and I'm sorry, but that argument is dumb. Yes, she blackmailed Kazuya into a trial relationship, but after 6 months or more at this point, Kazuya is basically leading her on. I don't know about you, but a trial period is a week. 6 months? That's a commitment. I'll say more on this later. I think further on in the story, she does do some out-of-pocket things, like the condom thing. But still, in her eyes, she's been with Kazuya for 6 months, so this leads her to believe that there is a chance. I could sympathize with her early on, but honestly at this point, she is just hurting herself. Still, I don't hate her. Number 4, Chizuru. I didn't really have an issue with Chizuru until the recent chapters. She got dragged into this situation because of Kazuya. But come on, man. At a certain point, you just gotta be real with yourself. Like, do you like him or nah? I mean, we know the answer, but you just don't want to admit it. Seriously, you keep bringing up this custody agreement or whatever, but we're past that. We've been past that since episode 1. Honestly, for a while, I respected her, but during the movie arc, it just started falling apart. Like, she keeps having this internal conflict about her feelings for Kazuya. Whenever someone asks her what Kazuya is to her, she just says a client. Really? Can we get friend at least? Business partner, maybe? And don't get me started on that whack answer she gave Umi. Oh, I don't like him, but I don't not like him. What are you talking about? It's a yes or no, man. It's not hard. I hate characters like this, who can't go past the emotional wall phase. I get it. Being self-sufficient and independent is cool, but penting up your emotions is dumb, especially when you have someone consistently telling you that they are willing to talk to you about any of your problems. Whatever. But her worst offense is without a doubt ghosting Kazuya for 3 months. 3 months! This is so immature and absolutely throws out every bit of character development we've had in the past 200 chapters. You realize that you developed feelings for him. You've worked with him. You've broken down in his arms. But you can't tell him you feel bad about what you did in front of Ruka? Nah, grow up. Number 5, Mami. I don't like Mami, but I don't not like Mami. This character is set up as sort of the villain of the manga. We get her backstory, and basically, she can't be with the person she wants, so she vows to ruin every relationship she can. And for some reason, she is dead set on ruining Kazuya's. Like she's been at it for a year and a half. Bro, get a life. How about that? She's honestly just petty, narcissistic, and a lot of other bad things, and just there to cause problems. I get the hate she gets, but I'm not allowing none of y'all to call her the main villain, because the main villain of the story is number 6, Kazuya. Kazuya is without a doubt the worst MC of all time. No debate. I'm not hearing it. People call him a simp and a virgin, and honestly, that's insulting to simps and virgins around the world. This guy is just pathetic. I can't describe him any way else, just pathetic. He is the main villain of the story. Every single issue stems from him being a coward. 1. The plot of the story. This lie that for some reason continues on for a year and a half. I get it. You don't want to be embarrassed. But enough is enough. Get over yourself. You lied and can't keep dragging Chizuru into this situation simply because you are scared of the repercussions. You are an adult. Stop acting like a child. 2. Ruka. Nah, this is on you too. If you never lied, she can't blackmail you. If you just take the repercussions and come clean to everyone, again, she has nothing on you. You set up a trial and you let it run for 6 months. And you even told this girl you want to do it with her but can't because it isn't love? What? Nah. You're not getting away with this. All Kazuya does is please himself all day. And you're telling me he can control himself around the cute girl throwing herself at him? Stop the cap. This is on you. There have been times where you are willing to come clean to your family, or at least say you and Chizuru broke up. So the Batman excuse that everyone loves to throw around is invalid, because this guy leads around forever. You don't say I want to smack to someone you don't want to be with unless you're trying to lead them on. And this guy has the audacity to ask Ruka to break up with him. Hey, yo, what? Why don't you just break up with her? That was the most selfish and insensitive thing in the whole manga. Even more than the condom thing. Hey, it's my fault we are in this situation, and I've dragged this out for months while giving you a false sense of hope, but I want to put the burning up ending on you. Unbelievable. Man up, face the consequences of your actions. He's a nice guy, apparently. I don't see it. He's a dick to his friend Kibe, who's the realist on the show. He's an ass to Ruka, who actively tries to have an actual relationship with him. His room is dirty. All he ever thinks about is sex, and he takes everything to extreme. Like Chizuru walked into her room quickly instead of taking her time outside with you, so this must mean she hates you, right? God. Lastly, he only does all this stuff for Chizuru because he wants her. But doesn't that make him a nice guy? No, it makes him horny. That's it. I'm not going to talk about chapter 218. It's bad, and it just adds to how bad of a character he is. Before talking about episode 8, I want to talk about the ships and how to fix the story. For one, Kazuya and Chizuru are not a good ship. Are they even compatible to begin with? That's not the main issue though. Kazuya absolutely worships Chizuru. The ground she walks on to the utensils she uses to eat. Every single time, and I mean every single time he sees her for the first time, he goes on a monologue on how beautiful she is. Her skin, her hair, her body, whatever. Why do you get so flustered after being close to this girl for a year and a half? I get it. I've been in love too, dude. But he still gets nervous when she looks his way after all this time. Getting into a relationship with someone you worship like this just isn't healthy. Chizuru is still too immature in my opinion. Just focus on your career and bettering yourself. Don't ever mention Kazuya x Sumi. There is no reason for Sumi to like Kazuya. He said one nice thing. Not one other person that said something similar. I call cap. It's a no for me. Kazuya x Ruka aren't good either. Ruka is young and needs to understand that she can do better anyway. I think she even questions why she fell for him of all people at one point. Don't ask me. I don't know. Honestly, Kazuya x Mami makes the most sense because they are both terrible people and like to make every situation worse than it is. But my personal ship is Kazuya x the tissue box. That's all he deserves. You can't fix the story at this point. The multiple fake outs of love confession to Chizuru and confessions to the family is done like 10 times. It got old after the second time because it's the same every time. Either Chizuru will stop him or something interrupts Kazuya. Kazuya and Chizuru have shown no growth at all. Since at the point we are at, which for me is chapter 230 something, she ignores him for 3 months. And Kazuya absolutely breaks down from it. He doesn't clean or do anything for 3 months. He just mopes. So what was the point of the rest of the story? Doesn't he have some experience with getting over a girl? Don't you have a girl who is willing to be there for you? It's just awful in general, man. The manga could have ended at the movie arc or much earlier. If the story ends with Kazuya x Chizuru, I'll be disappointed, but maybe Chizuru will say that while she does feel for him, that they should be friends. And knowing Kazuya, who has repeatedly told himself that it will not happen between them by the way, he'll go cry in a corner. The only positive ending in my eyes is everyone goes their separate ways. I've given plenty of reasons on why the entirety of the manga is bad, but why should you drop it after episode 8? Episode 8 is when you really start to realize how bad of a character Kazuya is. Near the start of the episode, Kazuya notices Chizuru walking around with some guy who's hot and he immediately wants to know if that is her boyfriend. But why do you care? Up to this point, she has told you multiple times that she is just a rental girlfriend and that cannot happen between you two. So why does it matter? In fact, you technically have a girlfriend now. Why not spend some time with her? Isn't it Christmas too? Still, you have no grounds to be jealous. No grounds to inquire on this relationship. You and her are nothing. You got caught up in a lie, which is your fault, by the way. Apart from that, there is no connection. Go home or do something. But what does Kazuya decide to do? He stalks them for hours, from noon to sundown. He stalks him all day, listening to the conversation. I had to stop this episode multiple times because it was simply too hard to watch. I repeatedly yelled, "Go home! Go home!" But no, he follows and eventually he hears the boy have a sort of suspicious talk on the phone about Chizuru, so he decides to white knight it and tell her, but only after it looks like they're about to kiss. Again, who are you to interrupt them? You can tell her what you heard later, but no, you go out of your way to embarrass yourself and put her in an awkward situation. And worst of all, when she asked him how he knew she was there, he admits to stalking her since noon. Why would you admit that? And she forgives him and gives him a gift? I'm sorry, what? Ma'am, he just admitted to stalking you the entire day. For what reason? Give me a valid reason right now. There isn't. It's inexcusable. The only option was to follow a restraining order at that point because Kazuya came off as a dangerous individual the entire episode. After this, they continue to lie for over 200 chapters. It doesn't ever get better. Yeah, the movie arc was fine, I guess, but it's made irrelevant immediately because none of the character growth is carried into the next arcs. It's like it never happened. The movie is brought up eventually, but Kazuya does not grow whatsoever. Honestly, just watch the episode with Sumi. She is a sweetheart. Apart from that, why did I continue to watch this show and read the manga? Because I love train wrecks and putting myself through mental exhaustion. So, if you're like me, go ahead and suffer through this story, but otherwise, absolutely drop the show after episode 8. Or just never pick it up. You're not missing anything because nothing ever happens apart from fake outs and Kazuya and TR himself. Also, the manga's art is pretty good. I won't lie. So, with season 2 being announced, the question remains, will I watch Rent a Girlfriend season 2? Well, here's your answer.